So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. All right, Rockstar Nation. Boy, we have a great guest today coming from sunny California. We are going to talk about some in-depth ideas as to how agents can make more commissions, increase their profits online. I have Rhonda Sher on the line, and she is a coach and a mentor to many real estate agents, especially in the realm of LinkedIn and blowing up your LinkedIn, which all ties to repeat business and referrals. So without further ado, Rhonda, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Thanks, Pat. I'm really happy to be here today.
Hey, Rhonda, why don't you give everybody a rundown so they can get to know you better?
Well, let's see. I was born networking. I wrote a book called The 2-Minute Networker back in 2005, and then a book called The ABCs of LinkedIn, Get LinkedIn or Get Left Out in 2009. And literally practice something called 10 before 10 every day, which is I touch 10 people before 10 a.m. And I do that on LinkedIn. And I am a connector. That's really what I do. I help people find the resources that will make them money. And LinkedIn is probably one of the best places and most underutilized for real estate agents. And I just share the message.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so let's jump right into it right now, because I think you've already said something people could start using. Tell me about the 10 before 10. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but what should you say in your 10 before 10? What should you not do? Certainly, there's people, that are out there kind of sending these cut and pasted messages on LinkedIn. And I hope you're going to say, don't do that. But tell me about the 10 before 10.
So 10 before 10 means touching 10 people before 10, which means you need to know who you want to reach. So if you are a real estate agent, who's going to know whether somebody's buying or selling? Well, typically it's going to be the divorce attorney. It might be the CPA. It might be the estate planning attorney. So what I recommend that you do, and it's really kind of reverse engineered, is you go out, you actually look at those profiles. And remember, 40% of the people on LinkedIn are active and 60% of them are just parked there. So you look at the profile. If they're active on LinkedIn, guess what they're going to do? They're going to turn around and look at you. So they look at you, and if they don't send you an invitation, what I recommend you do is, especially for the real estate agents, send them a very personalized message that might say, "Hi, Pat, found you on LinkedIn. Looks like we share some common connections and an interest in XYZ. I would love to learn more about your business and how I can refer people to you. Let's connect on LinkedIn. Best regards." So I already know that divorce lawyer is seeing people that are going to be in a position to be referred to a real estate agent. So why not that real estate agent? Make sense?
100%. Yeah. Divorce lawyers, bankruptcy attorneys, people in the wedding business, anybody
Divorce mediators.
Of babies. Yeah. Divorce mediators.
And also think about obstetricians. Really, every time I had a kid, I bought a house and sold a house.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids. I bought and sold both times.
Life events. I know one of the things I learned from Chantel Ray in Virginia Beach, Virginia, is she has her agent stalk, she calls it, on Facebook for an hour a day or so. People, and you can do the same thing with LinkedIn, where you're just stalking them, looking for life events like a baby or a marriage or whatever, and then going in and saying, "Hey, can I be your realtor, or do you need a realtor?" And I think what you're saying is do something similar, but on LinkedIn. Now on LinkedIn, are you saying just 10 people that are specific to what you just mentioned, these attorneys, or are you also doing it to randoms who you're already linked into? What is your purpose of these?
Also randoms, but what I like to say to people is think about the people that you went to school with, your alumni. Think about people that you've worked with before. Literally, there was a real estate agent who was a carpool mom. and what's more precious than driving kids, right? She drops off this child, and in the yard, what does she see? A sign that the woman is selling the house with
Hate
another
that.
agent. Nothing more painful. Trusted her with her kid, but never even knew she was a real estate agent.
Mm.
So you want to connect with the people that you already know and create that relationship on LinkedIn and start wishing them happy birthday, endorsing them. When you endorse somebody, you get a notice. And typically you go, wow, that's cool. Thank you. So every day, you touch them, you're endorsing them. And it's just staying top of mind. Maybe it's sharing something in your update, or you find something that you think might be of interest to somebody and just pass it along. Maybe they heard a great show that you posted and they send the link to your radio show and just said, you know what, I know you're interested in real estate. There was an amazing guest. I just wanted to pass it on. Here's a link. You might want to listen to Pat's radio show.
Oh, wow. There you go. Good idea,
There you
guys.
go.
Go out and do that now. Share one of my shows. Share
There you
your
go.
favorite one on LinkedIn. Oh, my goodness. Okay, this is good. So I want to talk a little bit about the audio testimonials, which are gaining a lot of traction on LinkedIn. So why don't we start from the beginning there? Tell me about, instead of the ones that people are used to seeing, right, where you recommend somebody or endorse them. Tell me about the audio ones or their video ones now.
They're actually video. So the challenge for a lot of people is, number one, they don't like to be on camera. They just want to avoid it. The other thing is geographic. You might have somebody that lives across the country that you sold a house to or you helped with a purchase, but getting them to record something on their iPhone, sending it to you, it's a lot of trouble. So I wanted to make it really simple, sweetheart. So I have a system where all they need to do is call an 800 number, record a 60 to 90 second testimonial. So it might be, my name is Rhonda Sher. I just bought my house from agent Joe Smith, and I have to tell you, it was the smoothest transaction I have ever had. He not only got me the best loan, blah, blah, blah. If you're looking for a realtor, he's the only one I would recommend. All that person has to do is upload a photo of themselves to an email, call an 800 number. 72 hours later, that is a very professional video that has a PowerPoint going behind it, an intro, an outro, and you can put that on LinkedIn, put it on your Facebook, put it in your email. And one of the best ways to use it is if you're going to recommend somebody to another person, say, by the way, I'm just attaching a couple of testimonials, so before you speak, you'll have an idea of what others think of him. Now, how much resistance would there be to picking up the phone once they actually see those testimonials? It's a done deal.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And I've done that. I did that for one of my courses. I have Umail, and what Umail does is for $15 a month or so, it just, it takes the recording and it puts it into something that you can email somebody else. And I just had people call and leave a message call my personal cell phone and leave a message about how they felt about the course. And then I was able to just send that off to somebody who, put it up on our computer. So with a photo of that person. So it's the same sort of thing. And that's pretty cool. And how many do you recommend people have in their LinkedIn account? How many of these video testimonials or audio testimonials in order for it to be effective?
Typically 2, and then what I recommend is that they include a self-introduction, and especially for those brokers that are building teams, because that seems to be the hot thing right now. So it may be that they're not really looking for clients, buyers and sellers, they're looking for other agents. So what I recommend they do is they have 1 or 2 people in their office do the same audio testimonial about why they chose that particular realtor, that particular broker in that office, and what makes it different. Because again, they may be recruiting somebody, but they're also checking them out. And the interesting thing is that if your name isn't Joe Smith and you have a LinkedIn profile, there's a 75% chance or better that LinkedIn profile is going to show up on the first page of Google. So you want to make sure that when they go to Google and they look, and you've seen the new look, right? Now you only see the first 2 lines on the summary. So right under experience, that's where you put it, because you'll see it even if you're on a tablet or a phone. And people are going to click on it, because if you listen to a video or you see a video, you feel like you know the person. And it has such a different effect than a recommendation, which number one gets dated. The moment you put the date on it, it's old. It's like driving a car off the lot, right? And so I look at profiles and I see, oh my gosh, these recommendations are from 2010, 2011.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Right. Yeah. And that's true. A lot of the recommendations on there are old and they stay forever, which is a good thing, I guess, in some sense, because especially if someone does a video testimonial, here you have it forever. I mean, I've gotten some testimonials on mine where the people, now aren't as easy for me to get in touch with. And because our relationship isn't what it was, I've just been doing other things. And so for me to get a LinkedIn recommendation from them now is probably unlikely. So I think there's something to say about striking while the iron's hot with your contacts, because if you just met somebody, bumped into them in a coffee shop, or just had a transaction with them, it's going to be much easier for you to get this LinkedIn recommendation or this audio or video from them than it will be a year from now, and especially 5 years from now.
Well, and the other thing that's really cool about it is if they're saying their name and their company, they're getting visibility on your profile. So in reality, what will happen is most of the time, if you're listening to somebody's testimonial or you're watching it, you're going to click over and look at their profile. So, even if they're a buyer or a seller, they have a business, right? That person might get curious enough to see more about them. So there's a real incentive for them to want to do it. And there's no barrier. All they have to do is just literally dial an 800 number. It's pretty simple. I mean, imagine the people that take your courses. Right?
Right.
And they took your course and then they made a sale because of something they learned. Well, if somebody was thinking about taking your course and they go on your LinkedIn profile and they hear that, you have a much better chance of enrolling that person than if that wasn't there.
Right. Absolutely. No, I'm all for it. So let's talk about, mistakes agents are making now and how they should cure said mistakes. Because one of the things you do is you offer a service where you kind of gave me the analogy earlier, flip or flop, like a flip of a foreclosure home where you go in and it's all moldy and falling apart, and then they take it and then they, fix it up and make it beautiful and sell it and make big money on it. You're doing the same thing, but with LinkedIn profiles. You're like the LinkedIn flipper. Give me an idea of what a bad LinkedIn profile looks like, and then give me an idea of what a good LinkedIn profile looks like, so we can use some of this material here today and make more money.
Great question. So a bad LinkedIn profile is one that doesn't have a background. The first thing you see is the background, and now that 43% of people are more using mobile, you're going to see that background. They also don't have a professional picture. Sometimes I see people that even have avatars. You want a picture of you just looking straight at the camera. The other thing that you'll see is they don't have it optimized underneath their name. So, it basically might just say, real estate agent. Doesn't even say their city. So it has or it just says the name of their company. The next thing that I see,
So wait a minute, optimized. What?
Google's going to find them.
Okay, so what? So what does an optimized photo look like?
Not a photo, a
Or
profile. An
profile?
optimized
What does
profile
optimized?
is one that has the keywords, so that if somebody's going to search for you,
Yep.
you have those keywords in there. So if they
Like
were
your
going to,
city, your state, your
yep,
real estate company, all that stuff.
exactly. Yep, you want to have that there. And then one of the biggest mistakes I see is that they don't do a summary. They leave the summary out. And that's your opportunity to tell people who you are, why you're different, what services you provide. And in that summary, you can say, I could tell you the results that my clients get, but don't take my word for it. Just click below. And you take those audio videos and put it right there. And most importantly, they leave out their phone number and their email. So if you're not connected to somebody, and yet somebody referred you to that person, you look at their profile, you're like, how do I reach them? There's no phone number. And then they don't fill it in. Okay, one of the things that cracks me up is when I look at languages and it'll say Spanish. Well, that's great, but you speak perfect English. Remember, it's an international platform.
Right.
And so I don't see that on there as well. And the other thing is they leave out a lot of information. Real estate agents put a lot of time and money into courses. They invest in great schools like yours, right?
Yeah.
But they don't show it off on their profile.
Right. I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Yeah, one of the things we started doing is offering, once you get your certification, say for the certified listing agent course or what have you, you get a certificate, and you can click one button now, and it goes right to LinkedIn and posts the certificate on your LinkedIn.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, so that's what I see. Oh, and then the most important mistake that they make is there's a little section called Other People Viewed. Because if you're on somebody's LinkedIn profile, they're going to show people that are similar to you. Well, why would you send somebody to your competition?
That's a great question, right? Why? Okay, so as a real estate agent, do we link to other real estate agents that are local to us?
So that's a different question, though. Yes and no. Okay. What I was talking about are the privacy settings. So in other words, if you look on the right-hand side, it says Other People Viewed. Yep. You want to change that to, you don't want to show that. Why would you want to show other real estate agents that they can just...
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you can change your privacy settings so it just doesn't show Other People Viewed.
Absolutely. You want to click that. Now, in answer to your question, LinkedIn right now has a glitch, okay? If you say, who can see your connections? You have a choice. Only you, okay, or your connections. But when you say your connections, I will see who we share as mutual connections. However, there is also the little button where I can see all your connections. Now, you can't sort through it the way that you used to be able to, but if I really want to know who you're connected to, it's not alphabetical, it's not by business, but I can see it. So
interesting.
yeah. So what I suggest to people is, especially when they go on a listing appointment, and they know that they're being interviewed, it's not just them, they're looking at one or two other agents. They might actually bring their bring their iPad with them where they have their LinkedIn profile and say, I know Mary Smith, the other agent that you're interviewing. And by the way, she's great. We're actually connected on LinkedIn. So after you give me that listing, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to her before it goes on the MLS and see if she might know a buyer for this listing. So you're not putting that person down. You're saying, I'm really connected. And again, it's a personal choice because LinkedIn does not allow you to shut all that down. If you want to go through, I have 6,700 connections. If you want to go through and look through it, you can go through all of them. Make sense?
Yeah. But like you said, that's a lot. And so talk to me about that number there, because isn't there aren't you limited to the amount of people that you connect with on LinkedIn?
You are limited to 3,000 invitations, not the number of people that can send you invitations.
Okay.
So it's kind of like dating, how many, you might ask out how many people, right? But
right.
Once 3,000 people that say, yes, I want to go out with you, I accept, you have to go back to LinkedIn and ask for more. But if you have them invite you, then sky's the limit.
Got it. Very interesting. Okay. And like, if you were to visualize a real estate agent's profile that gets 100%, gets an A++, right? What else would be on there besides what you've mentioned already?
So they want to have it always says 500 plus, right? Well, that's the 501.
Yes. Yeah.
So you want to make sure they have 500. You want to make sure it's a professional picture. The other thing I look for, are they sharing information? Are they putting updates? And an update could be anything, just like, I read a great book. When I read Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule, I thought that was such an awesome book. So I just put it in my update and said, here's a great book that I read. It might be helpful. I got some great tips from it. And what happens is people share that. So you can do updates on a regular basis. The other thing is actually posting articles, and that's on Pulse. And if your articles
say it again, Pulse?
Pulse,
What's that? What's Pulse?
Pulse is the publishing platform of LinkedIn. And you can publish on there, and if your article gets picked up, because there are people who are the influencers, you actually can get a huge reach. And if somebody likes it, they're going to share it. So you want to get.
What do? You just go and just write some random things and submit them to Pulse. And how hard is it? How easy would it be to get it published?
It's really easy. It's very easy. And one of the mistakes that most people make when they do write an article on Pulse is they don't put their own information at the bottom. So you write a great article. You want to let people know who you are and how they can reach you. So you put all that contact information at the bottom, and that's one of the things that people leave out. It's like going to the ATM machine, putting your card in, and you walked away without your $20.
Yeah, that's great to know. We've been writing a lot, and we've been posting on LinkedIn just on my profile, but I don't think we knew anything about Pulse, so we'll have to look into that ourselves.
Yeah, because there's updates, and then there's the publishing platform. And the newest thing, which not everybody has now, I don't even have it yet, is you can now do live video with LinkedIn. It's still in the beta testing, and it's a very small number of people that have it, but it's supposed to be rolled out in the next month or so, and that's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. I've noticed some people that are massive in the online space, and when they go live now, they have about 5 phones or computers that are filming all around them in a circle. They have one on YouTube Live, one on Facebook Live, one on LinkedIn, one on, you know what I mean? They'll have all these going at once, showing the same exact thing, but just coming from a different angle.
Yep.
And it's kind of like having a press conference with all the major networks there, except it's all artificial intelligence. You're just lining up 3 or 4 computers and 3 or 4 cell phones.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Fascinating. And logging into different accounts. Well, Rhonda, this has been great. I'm going to put all of Rhonda's information on hibandigital.com/Rhonda S. And all her information will be on there. Everything we talked about. She is going to give our listeners a free consultation on their LinkedIn. If you just go to the show notes and get her information there, we'll put a link to a form that you can fill out and get that consultation, right, Rhonda?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, listen, thanks so much for coming on Real Estate Rockstars today. We appreciate you, and best of luck to you in your future endeavors.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate it. And remember, if you're not LinkedIn, you might be left out.
See you, Rhonda.
Bye. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you for watching Real Estate Rockstars. Please give us a review wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening. We eat feedback for breakfast, and I don't care whether you give me a 1-star review or a 5-star review. I just want the review. I want to know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Would love to improve things. Hey, and listen, please subscribe. The more subscribers we get and the more reviews we get, the better guests we'll get for you in the future. Feel free to reach out to me anywhere on social media. Just type in my name. I'm everywhere, and I look forward to meeting you in the digital world. Have a great day, and thanks again for listening to Real Estate Rockstars.